welcome to another crappy production of Drawing with Trav. Thank you. Today we're going to be talking about subtractive value. Yeah, I know, exciting. Let's take a look at some of the tools we're going to be using first. Subtractive value is just that. It's putting down media, and then using a series of erasers, we take the media off to reveal our drawing, hopefully. Tools we're going to be using today, just some basic compressed charcoal sticks. These come in just like charcoal pencils. They come in 6B, 4B, 2B. 2B being the hardest, being the lightest. 6B being the darkest, being the softest. We have our charcoal pencils. Again, they come in 2B, 4B, and 6B. These are compressed charcoal. 6B again being softest and darkest, and 2B being the hardest and lightest. And you can go even darker than that, but that range is going to work for us. I'm going to eventually be doing a drawing on just newsprint, so we can incorporate a little bit of charcoal pencil, white charcoal pencil, because it contrasts nicely. Let's look at the erasers. I'm going to be using, I know they're all black and full of charcoal right now, but these are high polymer plastic erasers. They remove a lot of material at a time. We also have the kneadable eraser, meaning that you can kind of knead it into different shapes and stuff. This doesn't take as much material off when you use it, but we'll show you that later. I have for detail these Tombow erasers. They're retractable erasers. They have a high polymer eraser within them, so they take off really nice material. This one's really precise. These are made in Japan. It's Tombow, T-O-M-B-O-W. You can order them at Blick Materials or through Arizona Art Supply for my students here in Arizona. For these pencils, when I use a charcoal pencil for sharpening them, I also keep on hand just a simple X-Acto blade, because if you try to sharpen these in even a manual sharpener or an electric sharpener, you will break the tops of them off. You will continue to break them, and they will be useless to you. So I use an X-Acto knife and I just whittle the top off. You can also use like sandpaper, something like that. I have these whittle shavings all over the studio, which makes my wife super happy. And then for blending, I just use a basic drafting brush, simple like this, along with some other materials like some paper towel. There's also blending stumps and stuff like that, but we're not going to get into quite that much detail. So I think those are all the tools. I will use an occasional straight edge. I have these really inexpensive roller bars that I use for straight edges. As you can see at the top here, you can see it up there. We're going to be drawing just this simple spray bottle, mostly because it was the one thing that fit on the screen, and it was small and it's simple to draw, just a series of stacked cylinders. But let's quickly look at some different papers. First paper I'm going to show you real quick here. You get different effects with different papers. They do different things. This is just newsprint. When we work in a subtractive way, we put down media first, and then we work over the top of it, pulling that media out to reveal our drawing. With a high polymer eraser on newsprint, we can remove quite a bit of material, but we're always going to get a little bit of a stain left. Oh. The kneadable doesn't remove quite as much. It's more subtle in how it removes material. And then of course these are highly detailed in terms of, but they're polymer, so they still remove a lot of material. That's newsprint. It always is going to leave a little bit of that stain or that value from initially putting value down. We also have just your basic drawing paper, like Strathmore, Canson, 70, 80, 90 pound drawing paper. Put some material down. This in the same way that the newsprint will always leave a little bit of that residue.
Oh.
This paper is the same. This paper has what's called sizing in it, so it can withstand maybe having some wet media put on it. Like if you're doing an ink drawing of some sort, ink wash drawing, so that the paper holds together. Doesn't become all oatmeal-y and pulpy. So you see that, though, what that leaves us with is that when you try to erase with a high polymer eraser, you still get some of the value left. Same thing with your kneadable. Some of that media always stays on there. You can never get back to the original color of the paper, and that's because of the sizing in the paper. I'll show you one other paper. If you really want to get back to that original color of the paper for those bright highlights, you can use a printer's paper called BFK Reeves. There's other printer paper out there. This printer paper has less sizing in it. It's more pulpy. If you get it wet, it's just going to turn to like oatmeal. It's going to start to fall apart. But for doing dry-based drawings, like with charcoal, it's nice because we can actually pull a little bit of the surface, a little bit of that pulp off the surface of the paper, and we can get back to the original color of the paper. So it's a really good paper to use for subtractive value drawings. Now my students in Art 111, you're going to have at your disposal essentially that 80-pound drawing paper, which is going to work great. It just has a little bit of a different feel and effect to it as you make your drawings. Alright, I'm going to turn this light on. Get a little more light in there. Alright. So that's BFK Reeves. It's printer's paper. Less sizing, more pulpy. You can actually kind of erase the surface off of that. Alright. So let's make a quick drawing. Just using some basic newsprint. And there's our little spray bottle right there. First thing we're going to do with subtractive value is we're going to put down value. I'm just using like a 4B. And I always start with a middle value. I don't go straight to really super dark. I don't want to have to dig this material off the page like with a shovel. And at the same time, if I go with a middle value, I can do a combined drawing with some subtractive value in it and some additive value in it. So I kind of work both directions, getting it darker and getting it lighter at the same time. I always take a paper towel and I smear it so that I get more of an even tone or an even value across the whole page. Simple as that. Art's kind of a messy thing sometimes. You might want to wear gloves. If you're real, you have allergies, you might want to wear a mask. But there are probably none available right now because of the coronavirus. A couple different ways you can start. You can start, I just got like a 2B. If you feel more comfortable, you could start, I'm going to turn that around. I like it facing that way. Now I don't have a specific light source on this. But it's kind of, we have my light source coming from both directions, so I'll just kind of pick and choose how I want to determine where light's coming from. And I think I'm going to have it more kind of coming, the stronger light coming from this right side here. But this is just a series of stacked cylinders, and I'm going to draw it as if I'm kind of looking down, not down at it, but just kind of from the side here. So you could start real lightly. Let's see here. With one of your charcoal pencils and start to lay this out. And again, it's just a series of stacked cylinders, very simple. Something we've drawn in class 1,000 times. But it's a good, and we can check and make sure we get our proportions correct. So you could start that way. You could also start, if you have a Tombow eraser, like this. This is just like drawing with a pencil, but now you're drawing with an eraser. So I'm going to grab my straight edge here, use my polymer eraser, pull a bunch of that material out, get the basic shape down. Again, most of my light kind of coming from this side. I'm going to reinforce now that I've got a basic kind of form laid in there. Hopefully you can see that. I'm going to zoom in here. There we go. Hopefully you can see that. And I'm going to reinforce some edges now. First I'm going to kind of make sure I'm parallel with the sides of my paper here, using my straight edge. I'm going to kind of beef up this background and really pop this thing out and kind of reinforce what I've already drawn. I'm going to try to work as quick as I can here, because I know you have the attention span of a gnat. Do I? A little darker to this side. We'll do a little bit of wash there, a little bit of wash up here, and I'm just turning the charcoal on the side. Then I'm going to work in. I'm going to use some 6B. I'm going to use a straight edge. I'm going to pull even more value to the left side. Just using my straight edge. Some lines like that. I can come in and I can blend that with a finger. I can blend it with this. Start to pull some of that material together. We can blend it with the brush. I'm going to come up here and I'm just slowly sneaking up on these values. I'm going to reinforce some of these edges. We're going to pull some of the brighter highlights out here in a minute. And we're slowly creeping up on the form. Lighter to this side, slowly getting darker to the other side. Pull out a little bit more on this side. And I'm going to, these transitions where one cylinder meets the next is where the most light's hitting. I'm a little too far on this side. I'm doing a little bit of additive and a little bit of subtractive. Working with the two together. And slowly carve this goofy little spray bottle out. I'm going to come in here. Let's see, I've got this little transition here. I'm going to do a little shadow to this edge. Hopefully this is all showing up. Start to blend it. I've got these little ridges here. Reinforce that edge. Darken this side up just a hair. And we're almost there. Simple as that. I got a little bit of a shadow on our ground plane heading this way. We've got multiple light sources, so I actually have one kind of going this way. And I'm actually going to make it a little as if this thing is reflective. Reflecting down into the surface. Rooted in the drawing, get a little bit more. I'm just kind of making this part up. A little more drama. You can use some white charcoal pencil. I usually wait to the very end to do this. And it contrasts nice with the newsprint. Do that for the nice, real hard highlights in the drawing. And we're almost there. For a basic, very simple. I'm going to take this out. Subtractive drawing. The brush is nice. You can hit over the top of everything. It blends everything in. Once you do this, it's going to pull some of the darker value into your lighter areas. So you just have to pop them out one more time. To the right side. Pop out these transitions a little bit more. And there, for the most part, you have it. A very simple drawing of this little spray bottle using subtractive value. Hopefully you go out there, you make great drawings. If you have any questions about this process, I'm going to continue messing with this. You can always email me if you're one of my students. And get out there, make great drawings, and that's it.